When it comes to ARK, there are many rat holes that get added with new updates, which is why I present top 10 new unseen rat holes on ARK Survival Ascended. Coming at number 10, this can be found at 45.1 latitude and 23.2 longitude. Then there it is on the map. Now this one can be found over on Scorched Earth. And as you can see here, you have to look for these little kind of like platforms. It's like that giant ramp that kind of like goes over this little area. You can find it right in here. So as you can see there's where the bed is, just to kind of get a good like size comparison. But as soon as you enter, it's a nice, very tight rat hole. I believe it is a laydown entrance. This is your first room in here, and then here's your second room. Now, yes, it's kind of like a small, medium size. You're able to fit a decent amount of stuff in here, but stuff like indie forges and all that are a little bit tight and harder to work with. But yeah, if you're looking for a nice, smaller area on Scorched Earth, maybe just not as a common of map for, people just to kind of go and like look for you in a rat hole, Scorched Earth is definitely a pretty good spot to go. Coming at number 9, this can be found at 31.1 latitude and 46.9 longitude, and here it is on the map. Now this one can be found over on the center, and this rat hole is actually one of the really good ones on this list, but I'm just going to tell you now, it basically goes from worst to best, kind of. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. All the rat holes on this list are kind of about the same. Now this one actually has 2 rat holes, this one down here, but you can't really build in it. Then here's your main entrance for this one. Now this one is actually really overpowered on this list still, just because of that crouch entrance, and it kind of like the entrance kind of goes up, so defending it is still very tricky in here. But if you just do a bunch of spam turrets, you should honestly be fine. As you can see here, it opens up into a pretty decent sized room right here, as you can see with this little area, and then it actually keeps going up higher and higher. I'm honestly shocked that these rat holes have not been patched yet. I don't think that they've really been shown, but I know for a fact that this rat hole has been here for a very long time. I just didn't really want to show it because I was living in it on one of the servers. But yeah, this rat hole overall, really good. Perfect for, kind of like a smaller-ish tribe. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a kava and kratom seltzer company which provides an alternative to alcohol. These drinks give you a high, but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being tropical. If you're looking for a new drink to replace your coffee in the morning, Mitra is the way to go. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code Outcasts and you will get 25% off your entire order. Now, back to the video. Coming at number 8, this can be found at 71.6 latitude and 43.4 longitude, and this one can be found over on the center. Now yes, I know that the majority of these are on the center, but that's just because the center has the best rat holes out of any map other than Extinction. But yeah, anyways, here is this one. This one is insanely overpowered, and it's also underwater, which makes it even more overpowered. As you can see here, it's actually very similar to the last one, it's just not as open, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot more stuff in here, it's a little bit more compact, but you're still able to fit stuff like an indie forge in here relatively comfortably. It's gonna be tricky trying to build in here, but luckily the vacuum compartments do kind of get stuck in the walls, meaning that you're actually able to open this entire thing up. So yeah, a bit of a tricky one to build in, but definitely one that is a pretty good base spot. Now coming at number 7, this can be found at 61.5 latitude and 34.8 longitude, and this one can be found over on Aberration. Now this is a new one because, I've honestly never seen it, and I've searched this map literally everywhere, and I've still never seen this one until now, so I feel like this is kind of a newer one, but I don't know. It is more of a smaller one, it's meant for like a solo or a duo really, but this entrance, if you can defend that entrance good, makes for a pretty decent starter area. It's not that big, so you don't really have room for like indie forges and all that, but if you're looking for a temporary base spot on Aberration, this is definitely a decent one. It's also deeper down, so a lot of people really aren't going to mess with you down here anyways. But yeah, honestly, I would highly recommend living in here. The only downside is it has kind of 2 entrances. That second entrance you can't really enter into, but people can throw stuff through it, so you got to watch out for that. But other than that, decent rat hole. Coming at number 6, this can be found at 57.1 latitude and 72.0 longitude, and this can be found over on Astraeos. Now Astraeos does not really have that many new rat holes. I've been looking over the couple weeks after since I've been posting about this map, and I'm telling you, this map is just one of the really tricky ones. But there is this one little one, so I went ahead and just like tossed it in here. It's nothing too crazy, but it just goes insanely deep, which if you can defend it, that's a big if. This would make for a decent base spot for a solo, maybe a duo. It's going to be a little tight in here, but this area does look smaller on camera. You're able to put some cliff platforms in here easily and actually have a decent amount of room. You can raise a couple dinos in here. It's definitely going to be a tricky build, but if you're up for the challenge, this does make for a decent base spot. Again, I said decent. You're going to have to go check it out for yourself. Coming at number 5, this can be found at 69.2 latitude and 79.8 longitude. Then there it is on the map. Now this can be found over on the center, and this is a pretty difficult one to find. Just do exactly what I say. So you have to go all the way down to the deepest part of the center and look for that giant cave. It's the only spot where this rat hole actually is. There's 2 different spots technically, so make sure that you go all the way down. Anyways, this is again a similar one to that last underwater one. However, this one is much bigger. Now, a lot of these rat holes on this list actually are very similar to these, just consisting of like these just giant openings with like a really tiny little entrance. It kind of sounds weird whenever I say it out loud, but you'll see what I mean when I start to show off some of the other ones. These all just like all kind of have like the same concept, the same layouts. It's really awkward, but I don't know why. It's just how a lot of the rat holes are now. But yeah, as you can see, it kind of goes pretty high up here. But yeah, overall, decent rat hole. Coming at number 4, this can be found at 51.0 latitude and 14.1 longitude. And then there it is on the map. Now this can be found on the center, pretty much right underneath the kind of like big area by Greenob. It's like the Ice Palace area. Now there's 2 different spots actually right here. You got that little platform, more of like a hidden spot, and then here's your main rat hole. That entrance, if you can defend that entrance properly, this thing pretty much will be unraidable. I'm just telling you that now, because this spot is, again, one of the best ones on this list. But yeah, it opens up into this first, little room, nothing too crazy. And then it just keeps going up, and it opens up into the second room, which is absolutely enormous. You have plenty of room for literally anything that you're ever going to need in here. You honestly should not run out of room. And it keeps going up all the way into the ceiling. Now you do have to be careful with this one, as there is some areas up here which are considered mesh, so you might get mesh killed. So just be a little bit careful. It's up in this top portion. It only did it once for me though. The other times it was honestly fine. Coming at number 3, this can be found at 15.1 latitude and 85.5 longitude. Then here it is on the map. Now this one can again be found in that super deep underwater cave. You just have to go find it again. It is insanely deep, so just swim all the way down. Anyways, this one is most definitely going to be getting patched. I can just tell you that now, just because of what this thing is. So as you can see here, you have this nice little kind of like slit entrance which opens up into this little area up top. Now this area isn't crazy, but when you look down, it's pretty insane. This thing is absolutely enormous. You technically will not run out of room in here. On camera it looks like kind of like a medium size, but in person it is enormous. Coming at number 2, this can be found at 12.9 latitude and 85.5 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this one can also be found over on the center in that super deep underwater cave. Yes, there's 3 of them in here. That's 3 of them that I found. There's probably a lot more. I haven't really searched this entire area yet, but I might make a second video on this. Anyways, once you find this little coral thing, it is directly behind it. That coral actually does kind of get in the way, and it stops you from even seeing it. But yeah, this one opens up into a pretty massive one as well. It's very similar to the last one, but not as like deep with the terrain, and it actually does have some rocks in here. So if you're looking for one that's similar, but I don't think this one's really going to get patched. I mean, it will eventually get patched, but the ARK devs aren't really focusing on the center anymore, meaning if you wanted to live in here for a while, you can live in here for at least probably 6 months after this video is out. And finally, coming at number 1, this can be found at 16.7 latitude and 48.5 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this one can also be found on the center. Now yes, I'm sorry that this video is just the majority the center, but most of the other rat holes have already been patched and I can't find any new ones. Anyways, this one is pretty insane. Now this one I have known for a little bit. I've kept this one kind of on the low, as this rat hole is just absolutely crazy and I didn't want them to patch it. But I thought that it's time for you guys to see this thing, because I can't really find it on any other videos. But anyways, here's your first room, nothing too crazy, right? Then you go down here in this little crack. Okay, and then again, nothing too crazy. Those little lava rock things are pretty cool looking though. And anyways, you come down here into the third area, and this is where things start to get pretty insane. As you can see here, it opens up into a massive room, very similar to whenever Scorched Earth came out. There was a rat hole that was really similar to this. However, this one's like double its size. As you can see here, it opens up into this massive flat room. It's got some terrain issues over there, but other than that, it is an absolutely insane rat hole with pretty much unlimited room. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to go check out Mitra9. Thanks for watching.